If I were a teenage millennial, you'd currently be looking at a line of smiley face emoji and possibly an aubergine. Because I'm a smidge past my 31st birthday, 41, cough, I'll be more literal. I am very excited by the arrival of Top Gear's new Mitsubishi L200. This is because I am a big fan of the odd vehicle-based adventure, but sometimes I end up in places where the vehicle gets slightly overwhelmed. Well, for once, that isn't going to be a problem, because I'm going to actually build a vehicle specifically for a little trip I have in mind. And the L200 is the base car. So, we begin with the standard, circa pound 30,000 Mitsubishi L200 double cab pickup, Warrior spec, in electric blue. That means the high-power version of the 2.4-liter 4-pot turbo diesel, 178 bhp and 317 pounds-foot, mated to a 5-speed automatic gearbox. The engine itself has an aluminium block, runs MVEC variable valve timing and apparently returns around 40 mpg, as well as being some 30 kilograms lighter than the engine that went before it. This is all good news, as is a capacious fuel tank that should allow decent range from a standard fill-up. Underneath, it's part Shogun, nicking a modified version of the front suspension. All in all, it's a properly solid base from which to begin. But begin what, I hear you ask? Bluntly, I'm going to build a Euro-spec pre-runner. Now, pre-runners are to Baja off-road racing what gravel cars are to WRC. They're fully spec'd and thoroughly upgraded production vehicles used to, you guessed it, pre-run stages of hardcore off-road desert races and check for important things like cliffs, boulders, and deathy bits. They tend to have the suspension and general demeanor, but without the full-blown race engines and general sense of sadomasochism. Also, I've got a thing about off-road trucks, so this kind of makes sense. The list of ideas has been somewhat random and altogether fabulous, with some of the more outre fantasies having to be shelved because they were either A, impossible for the budget, or B, completely illegal. First up will be an external roll cage to keep the bed in touch with the cab, and to keep the interior usable. After that we'll be taking a look at exhaust. I'm thinking something either side exit or vertical, a comprehensive remap for the 2.4 turbo diesel, some very large tires on appropriate wheels, new differential options, wheel arch flares, and some. First job on any build is always decide what you want to achieve, and then plan how to get there in the most effective manner possible. Unfortunately, this is Top Gear, so in reality it involved coming up with 352 mildly silly but fun-looking ideas, and then panicking about not having enough time. There are, however, some basics that could be covered. Firstly, I know that I'm going to be going somewhere sandy, probably Africa, for the L200's adventure when it's finished, so the thinking is to do, as discussed, a kind of Euro-spec pre-runner. The term has widened over the past few years, because you can technically pre-run in anything, but generally, you're looking at a vehicle with some of the upgrades of a racing truck, suspension, cage, tires, winches, bumpers etc., but maintaining the road legality and some of the comforts of a stock vehicle. So, we know we want the look and the rugged nature, but also the aircon and radio. The L200 is a good place to start, which is why we picked it, relatively simple, very rugged. Next up is a plan, which involved drawing cartoon trucks so badly that it made every designer in the TG. Ralph has already laughed, and again, winced, at some of my ideas. He'll be supported by Brad and Dave, the team who are going to be largely responsible for the actual creation of the truck. Rather than me, who will be more architect than actual builder. The L200, which we're calling Project Swarm, is currently at his yard being pulled apart to see exactly how extreme we can go without compromising usability. This, my friends, is where the stress and excitement really starts. Meet Ralph. Ralph Hosier is a chartered engineer who has been at the cutting edge of automotive product development and research for more than 25 years, so he should be able to handle a very odd project truck. He's worked with Bentley, Jaguar Land Rover, Ford, numerous racing organizations and many private clients, on areas as diverse as engine development, electronics, and whole vehicle prototype construction. He holds a B.N. Hans degree in Computer Systems Engineering, a diploma in engineering, and is a member of the Institute of the Motor Industry, MIMI, member of the Institute of Engineering and Technology, MIET, chartered member of the Engineering Council, C.ENG, and, handily, a member of the Guild of. Update 2. I told everyone that I want a motoped survival mounted in the load bed, and an actual aeroplane wing as a roof box, from which drones would launch. No one seemed particularly surprised. I've already found a man who can make the wing section, it can't possibly fail. And I've had the motoped ordered from the USA, where they are manufactured, so it's too late to change that now. It cost a good chunk of the budget, so I really do hope it's not complete crap. But prioritization is key. However, I am not prioritizing. I am running around trying to find someone who can make me a roll cage. I've already been to meet 2 companies who are desperate to be involved in the project. I assume it's a bit more interesting than churning out motorsport cages one after the other, something a bit different, but neither can make me one in the time scale I need. Basically, the external roll cage I want doing is the basis for lots of the other bits. Without knowing where that sits, it makes it hard to work out where other stuff might need to be. Stuff like the suspension, exhaust, bed loader, ARG. Ralph and Dave are busy. Running something stupid like 44s wasn't really an option, but anything over a modest increase, something in the 33-38 inch range, would be needing a bit of a suspension lift. While we're there, upgrading the rear leaf springs, front coils and damping, we might as well look at polybushing the entire thing. And flaring the arches. And carrying 2 spares in the rear, like a proper pre-runner. And, for a bit of fun, why not have a small, off-road moped in the back? Because I've been obsessed with these things called motopeds for a while now, but couldn't actually afford or justify one. And many lights. And if we've got lights, then there must be cameras. Which might need somewhere to live. Like an aeroplane wing. Okay, so this is where it all started to get a bit weird. But phone calls were made, and many things were ordered. It was fun. We were all friends. Trouble is, one of my main design wants was an external roll cage. And, after many calls to various suppliers and a couple of fruitless and time-consuming meetings, saw the L200 delivered to a man who promised to get one fitted in the time frame we needed. A man who then, a couple